Welcome back to Northwest Tuneup Festival. My name is CHRVNS. We're here with Shut Up and Listen, and today I have Cytrus.
Hey, hey.
How y'all doing today?
Doing fantastic. Just got off stage playing, I don't even know the name of that stage.
It's the main stage, baby.
Main one.
That one.
Because y'all main stage act.
Yeah.
You know that, right? Say it with your chest.
Thank you, thank you.
So go ahead, Cytrus, go ahead and introduce yourself for the people that don't know.
My name is Jared Squires. I play guitar and sing in Cytrus, as well as engineer, mix, master, all that fun stuff.
I love to hear that.
I'm Owen. I switch off between guitar and keys and sometimes bass. Kind of co-engineer with Jared here, and yeah, we write most of the songs.
My name is Alex. I play synthesizers and I make weird sounds, and yeah.
So it sounds like to me that you all love to play with wiggly air.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Wiggly air. Where all have you guys performed?
Just in Bellingham?
Or no, like in general, all your shows, like what?
So obviously we played in Bellingham, we played in Seattle, we've played in Portland, Eugene.
Okay.
We played in Joshua Tree down in California.
Dude, that's
I know, Everett, Washington. I know I'm forgetting some
Don't
places.
forget Darrington.
Darrington, shout out Darrington. I know I'm forgetting these places. But those are the ones that come to mind.
So if I can ask a follow-up question with that, so all the places that you guys have played, what would you say, is there anything that makes Bellingham different when you do come up here to perform? That, I mean, especially Joshua Tree, because I would love to play there too, like that sounds like a phenomenal place, but Seattle, Portland, Eugene, tour, like versus Bellingham, what is like that difference that you would say?
Bellingham's a really special place for us. Back when we were two separate bands, we were kind of the product of two bands fusing into one. Bunk Foss being one half, Hop Soul being the other. We had a run of amazing house shows, just DIY functions up here in Bellingham. And with the college crowd and just the community here, immediately we knew we were onto something special. And I would say that was a big kind of driving force to us fusing into one band, you know, having those special nights together. So Bellingham has always had a major part in sort of our journey and our hearts.
That's dope. I didn't know y'all was, hold on. So when did those two bands come to, like, what's that story? Like, y'all actually fusing and becoming one?
Was it May of 2017 or 2018? It's been so long at this point. Pre-pandemic, so a different world. We shared a storage unit together. It was our practice space. And at one point, the fire marshal came in and said this was not fit for occupancy, and they had to shut down the bands that were renting out of these units. So we had kind of one final hurrah jam. The first time we really jammed as two, separate bands together. We recorded the whole thing, had about 6 to 7 hours of recorded music. Listened back, and we loved what we heard, and the rest is history. We fused into Cytrus.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
What you been up to all weekend? You been here all weekend, or what you doing?
Well, last night was our bass player Luke's wedding. So we, congrats to him.
Congrats, Luke.
Andrea is his wife, amazing woman. So we had a great night last night, just bonding with the band. I mean, we're a brotherhood first and foremost, so these special nights are kind of what we live for. So did that and came straight here. And it's been kind of a whirlwind, but we're holding strong and ready for our next set tonight at Structure, 9:30ish, right? Yeah.
9:30 to 10:20.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna be there.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep, we're gonna start setting up for that right after this interview.
But all right, talk to me though. Y'all have any crazy moments, any story that you'd be willing to share about last night?
Pass this off.
I turned in early for the night.
Our auxiliary percussionist ended up pulling an all-nighter with the groom's mom's two best friends, 60-year-old ladies, and they all sat around the fire all night and didn't sleep. So that was pretty cool.
He's taking a nap right now. His
Yeah,
name's Connor.
yeah. His name's Connor. He's taking a nap. He shreds the congas and auxiliary percussion.
That's dope.
But those two old ladies put us to shame. That's kind of the moral of the story here.
Sound like we just gotta step the game up.
That's where Luke
we have
gets
a lot
it.
to learn.
That's where Luke gets it, absolutely.
Don't underestimate your elders.
So I guess with everything y'all have accomplished so far, especially just being here today, first of all, kudos and like much love. What are the next steps? Where are you guys trying to head to? What are you striving for?
So actually, right now we're in the middle of recording our second album.
Let's go.
Our first album was all DIY. We did it all ourselves, start to finish. The whole process was done in our little studio space down in Linwood. So this album's a little bit different. It's very influenced like with 60s and 70s psychedelic rock and R&B. It's also the first album that's going to have a lot of singing on it. So to kind of get it right and make it feel era correct, we are going to a studio. One of our good buddies, Sean Wolcott, shout out Sean in the Wolcon Curran Collective. Everything he does is very era correct. So that's really where all of our focus is right now. Meanwhile, during that process, we've been really trying to build our Pacific Northwest draw. And then hopefully we can set up a little tour hitting the coast. And then long term, we really want to get over to the East Coast and then, just kind of keep things moving over there. But so far the reception out of all the shows that we've played has just been phenomenal. We're really building a great community around us. Or I should say there's already a community here, but they've welcomed us, I think is a more appropriate way to say that. But yeah, aside from that, just kind of keeping things moving, writing music all the time. And that's kind of where our headspace is at right now.
I guess I have a little two-parter for you real quick, if that's okay.
Of course.
So when you guys go into the studio together, who is writing most of the parts? Is everybody making their own parts? Or so everybody's just making their own parts? Because I seen Mad Nods just in
It's a combination.
It's a combination.
Someone will bring a whole idea and then they'll kind of flourish from there, or
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, I would say we all make music on our own time. We all have little home studio setups. So for example, if I were to write something at home, I'm not gonna waste time trying to write a keyboard part when these guys hold down keyboards far better than I could ever do that. Yeah. So it's it's two sides of the coin. Either somebody will make something that's so developed and they want to see that through with little changes, everybody plays differently and brings their own influence to the group, or it's just such a bare bones palette with a structure, or maybe it's a melody. Yeah. And then we bring it to the group and let other people kind of do what they do best to make it what it could possibly be, because that's what a band is, really.
Having the trust in each other and
Absolutely.
letting the ideas flow.
Absolutely, yeah.
So now this is the next part I really want to know about, because you're talking about going from doing DIY and you guys help engineer a majority of everything, or basically everything so far, but going in 2 studios now. I want to answer from all 3 of y'all too. How do you feel going from that, actually DIY, having full control, doing all that, and then going into a studio? I know it's a different environment, so how does that feel first and foremost, but also working with a different engineer or something of that nature, somebody that's in the mastering. How are you guys feeling about going into that, or if you already have experiences with that, how has that been going?
This is our first experience collaborating with a third-party engineer of some kind, and so first and foremost, you need to have trust in their vision, their sort of perception of what you're after and what they can bring to the table. We found the right guy with Sean, especially given the music that we're working on right now. It fits his style, his palette, his aesthetic really well, so there's no growing pains there. That being said, we do still plan on mixing the album ourselves, so we're getting his initial sort of flavor, his sort of touch when it comes to capturing everything, but then we kind of put our Cytrus final touch on the final product.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Exactly.
Parallel compression.
Yes, sir.
Pass that along.
Yeah, honestly, so engineering the first album with Owen, it was a very different experience. It was me wearing headphones while standing with my guitar strung around me, while turning around, looking at the computer, hitting record, and while playing periodically, looking back at the computer to make sure it's still going. So it was very high stress. I will say I wouldn't trade it for anything though, because it was a pivotal process in how I became engineering in that sort of headspace. So, but this is very nice to sit back and get to try different amps, try different guitars, and not have to worry about it. If something's not recording, it's not on me. So that pressure, not having that pressure has been a really fun experience. But it does change things when you're in a studio and you have to be mindful of you have this long of the session, it costs this much. So you want to be as prepared as possible while still leaving room for those magic moments. And that has been something that absolutely has a learning curve for us, because it's just something new. But so far, I've really enjoyed this process, and I think that's safe to say for all of us, really, just judging about how everybody's feeling about the process and how we've been talking about it. So yeah, that's kind of where my headspace is at. I'm really excited to see this one through to the end. And I think the music that's going to come out of the other end is going to be some of the best stuff we've done so far. So.
For me, the first album was an awesome experience because we had, like Jared was saying, no like time constraints. We're not paying for studio time, so we could go all night recording, and it was awesome to see Jared kind of discover how good he is at recording and engineering music. It was crazy to see, and the final product just shows how good he is at this kind of stuff. So I really love that part of the first album. And then, yeah, recording in a professional studio is an awesome experience. Like meeting someone like Sean Wolcott, he's a huge engineer. He engineers for a lot of big artists. So it's just crazy to watch his process and just see how a true industry professional does it. And yeah.
I would say one of the funnest parts is the access to his amazing vintage gear that we get
The
to play
mic
around
locker?
with. Yeah,
The mic locker,
he's
though?
got some amazing mics, he's got some amazing guitars, real harpsichord, it's a C3 organ, I believe, with a real Leslie rotary speaker. So that's kind of the cherry on top of the whole experience.
Really, is because if we're making a 60s and 70s psych rock inspired album, we want it to be era correct, using the right gear, with a guy who knows how to engineer from that era and do it right. And I mean, if you listen to his music, it's very clear that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And so on this side of the table, we get to learn something, and just like, instead of like trying to go through the trenches and figure out what works, doesn't work, it's like now it's like step back for a second. We're all producers in the sense that we all have input on who's playing what and what should happen here, there, what sounds. But to have someone else in the room that we look up to is a very different process, and it's been awesome. It's been very fruitful.
And I'm happy for y'all, man. I'm stoked to hear what comes out of this. And also have fun. If I can say anything, like just as a fan, as a homie, have fun while y'all doing this. Because from what I'm hearing, is a very important like transition right now for y'all. Mm-hmm. And do what y'all do best.
Thank you.
It's all about the journey. We're on the journey to becoming full-time musicians. We also have day jobs.
Nice,
So
you know?
we're grinding, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5-ish, or earlier or later. But getting to the point of being able to quit that and just focus on music is the goal. But we're having fun in the meantime, too.
Hey, I'm proud of y'all, and thank y'all for taking the time today. Go ahead and tell the people how can they find y'all on all platforms, how can they find you on social media. Go ahead and plug yourself real quick.
So we are primarily on Instagram at Cytrus Music, all one word, lowercase CYTRUS Music. We are on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google Play, Tidal, Deezer, and everything else. We are on Facebook as well, same thing, at Cytrus Music. Those are the primary channels you can find us. We are still, we manage all of our own social media, so if you reach out and you DM us, chances are you're going to get me or Luke. You can, really, that's about it.
Real fast, we have a very special arrival here, our saxophone player, Brandon Haley. He made it just in the nick of time here. He's the soul of the group. Plays that sweet saxophone. So say what's up, Brandon.
Sorry I'm late to the party, guys. I'm very grateful to be here. This is a beautiful festival. My boys did amazing on stage. I now have the privilege of being a witness like everyone else, so that's pretty cool. Yes, anyways, I'm glad I got to make it. I'm proud of you guys. I love the festival, and yeah, all love.
We have something very special in store for tonight, his singing debut on a classic cover song. I won't spoil it quite yet, but it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Tap in, shut up and listen, Bellingham. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Cytrus.
Thank you so much, Bellingham. Once again, we go by the name of Cytrus.
Hello.